So here's the E36. This is the one we are planning on doing the RB25 into. As you can see, it's also looking depressing as. Definitely gonna look cool when it's done. Just gonna plan on dropping it on its ass with coilovers, as well as hopefully have it sound pretty cool with an RB. But I got a few things for this thing. Got some valve cover gaskets, as well as the exhaust gasket. Got a Neo ECU, Neo harness. Got some Neo coil packs. We also have the harness here from the M42 that was in it. Another thing I have is some RB30 extractors. So that's a single cam 3 litre. We're gonna hopefully be able to modify to be able to fit these extractors to the 25. And then one of my plans is I'm going to run, instead of going 2-to-1 out of the extractors, I'm going to run twin 2-inch the entire way throughout the car, just to hopefully give it that nice sound instead of the ugly NARB sound that, well, NARBs have. So that's the plan. And then if I hate it and it's not that great, I'll end up turboing it, whatever. Try to do a cheap turbo build or whatever. But for now, we are going to just NA swap it. Hopefully have it be pretty rad. But for now, I don't really have much to do. I have no motivation to work on the S13, as well as no motivation to do pretty much anything. Waiting for some parts for a customer's car, so I can't work on that. So I'm gonna try do the sump, reverse the sump on the RB, so we can fit it into the BMW. So here's the motor sitting here. This is a non-turbo R34 motor, so RB25 DE Neo. It is high comp, solid lifters, I believe. And yeah, I'm gonna drain oil out of this thing now. Hopefully there's some in it. Worst case, there's none. And then we'll flip the motor over, pull the sump off, give it a clean out, and then I'm just gonna cut it. I think I'm just gonna just give it just wing it. Try to cut it as straight as I can, and then I'll just do a flip. You've got the puppy, little Ellie sitting here. Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. Got the sump off now, and I'm just having a look at it, and I almost convinced myself to just go buy this kit that some guy has for sale, because as you can see, this angle here, both of them obviously different from one side to the other. So when I flip it, there's gonna be some overhang and some parts that don't actually line up. But I've also convinced myself to just do it. Just give it a shot, see if I can actually get it to fit somewhat. And if there's gaps or whatever, I'll just fill them up, or even add some steel to take up some of the gaps. So I'm gonna pressure wash this thing out. I'm just gonna give it a shot. Worst case, doesn't work. And there's no worst case, it's gonna work. That's the thing. That's what's gonna happen, it's gonna work. So there's no issues. But I also did forget to mention that this thing actually already has the turbo drain drilled and tapped for this motor. I bought it as a halfway through turbo conversion. So I can just blot this up for now, but when we are ready down the track, I can just put a fitting back in for the turbo drain. So get the pressure washer out, get this thing cleaned up, and I'll get the grinder out. So I've got the flange for the sump cut off now. It's not the best thing in the world. Bit of high spots and low spots, but at the end of the day, it is nothing we can just fix with a little bit of filler. Like you can see right here, I actually kind of messed up this one pretty bad. Nice big gap there. But again, lots of filler, we'll be able to fill that gap. So I'm gonna put it onto the bench now, at least tack it into place, and then tomorrow I'll get my spare block out. I'll weld it up, bolt it down to a block so it does not warp. I just figured out the dipstick is not gonna work anymore. They have a grub screw or something, looks like in there. So that's your standard typical front sump hole for your dipstick. As you can see, this thing right here. And with let's say a Patrol or something, where the sump's actually backwards, you can just use that hole for the dipstick. So that works out pretty good. I'm not too sure what it is. I'm just gonna have to drill it out. I'm pretty sure I'll have to drill it out. It might be a bit of a pain, but luckily with Sump software can do that. So we have the perfectly good sump that we've just finished up welding, and unfortunately, we have to cut it up again because the RBs sit on a bit of an angle, and I didn't cut any material out to allow for it to bend up on other angles for clearance on the subframe. So that really sucks. We'll cut it up, hopefully get it welded up again tonight. So I've got the sump on the motor now, And as you can see, we've just got the motor on the engine crane, and we're sort of just doing a test fit type thing, trying to see what we're looking at here. I have never made any sort of engine mount or gearbox mount or any mount type thing, so this is a bit of a new one for me. So I'm a bit nervous. That's why I've been putting this job off for so long, because I know I'm going to struggle with it. I've already had to do the Sump twice. That's one of those things I was like putting off, and that's why, because I suck. This is going to be a definite test of my skills. As you can see, the motor is on a bit of a lean, which is pretty much what they need to get. I actually have one of my customers' Skylines here, which I'm kind of getting a base off of how much lean it needs. I think I need to go a bit more. I need to get a proper bloody thing, like a ruler and stuff, and measure the drop and all that stuff. So if we come back over here, it's looking, it needs a bit more, I reckon. Looking from over here, like that, it needs a bit more. But that's the basis of what we're gonna have. It is actually sitting on just hitting the sump like I thought. So I'm gonna have to cut out a section, just a triangle piece across that whole way, which will then drop the motor even lower again, I believe. So that's cool. When it comes down more, we can probably level it out a bit straighter. We'll get more clearance and we can go further back again. But I'm actually so excited. I'm hoping, I'd love to have this thing done within sort of the next month or two. That's what my plan is. But with the S13 and the track car, it's kind of hard to make way for projects like this. Even the S13, I can't even get time to work on it. Gonna pull the engine back out. Well, actually, first of all, I'm gonna get under there and mark it properly of how much I actually need to cut out. And then I'm gonna pull the engine back out of the car, pull the sump off, chuck it back on the dummy motor, and then we'll do some cutting and hopefully some welding and get it looking smick. You know, I'll cut it and I might put it back on the motor just to get it perfectly cut out. If only it was actually mounted. I've still just got the rubber block in there, sort of helped me get it level. I did drop the sway bar just for a bit more clearance. Just under there. It's about, about 10 mil, probably not even, but I don't really give a shit. It ended up coming, when I do make the mounts, I'll probably try bring it up just a tiny bit. I'm pretty happy with how level it is though. I got this straight edge level here, and the marking is in pretty much the exact same spot as on a factory car for RB, as well as the angle is 10 degrees, which is the same as what the factory RB is. So I'm pretty happy with where this is gonna be. I'm gonna go inside now, and then hopefully tomorrow I can come out and start making some mounts. I'm still doing like full custom stuff that has to be done from your head. Like, because I've never done it before, I find it very difficult to do it. So I'm gonna try to challenge myself and just do it. I think it's straight. Looks straight to me. One issue is gonna be trying to get the exhaust through here, because we are doing extractors, which RB30 extractors, which I have to modify to suit 25. Might just be a little bit easier to just make new ones, which could be the go. I'm not too sure yet. Well, I'll see how it fits up when I've got all this done. I'll just focus on getting the engine mounted where it needs to be. Pretty keen to get this thing done. I do need to get this tyre fixed. It's got a slow leak in it, so I need to get that fixed. Buy a bunch of stock wheels, as well as got some special parts to chuck into it. Maybe in another video. I don't know. This video is gonna be a whole lot of bullcrap, I reckon. So try get this done. I just realised I should probably put it on the hoist before getting all the final checks, because I just realised that it's like this, and when I drop it down, it's gonna go like that. So tomorrow I'll put it on the hoist, pull the wheels off, and then I can, yeah, try to work that out. All right, see you in the morning. Good morning, we're back. We've got the motor and gearbox back in now. Well, the gearbox first time, motors second or third. And I think this is where we are going to finish. So I'm pretty happy with the angle of this. Again, like I said, it's the same angle as a stock RB and an R34. I've got the car on the hoist now, so it is level enough anyway. I'm pretty happy with where it is. Look, I reckon we should be able to fit stock a radiator in the stock position with the fan. It might be tight, but it's something I reckon we should be able to do. Had to do some persuasion with the ABS lines here. They were sticking out a heap. Ended up bashing them with a hammer and fixed it. Got the heater hoses, which I don't think we're able to run unless someone does like a 3D printed mod where this comes out different angle or something, which maybe, I wonder if I can flip it. No, I probably can't flip it. Maybe I'll see if I can work something out so I can flip it upside down and have it coming up, because I would like to run heater, but we'll see. Got the gearbox jacked up at the moment. So this is where the tail shaft has come through. So above this, I think it's in a pretty good spot. It also looks pretty center. And if we come in here, have a look through this hole, it's pretty center. So I'm probably have to make like a dog leg shifter, or maybe just cut a hole right here. We'll see what happens. Now comes the hard part. I'm gonna try and make a bracket. So I've got some mild steel here, some 3mm thick plate, I think, which should be strong enough. And I'm gonna have to try and make a bit of a bracket coming off of here. So we'll see how we go. Hopefully this all works out. So I'm gonna do the passenger side first, get that bolted in, like welded the bolted in, and then I can jack it up a little bit, pull this block out and start making the mount for that one. So yeah, I think progress is a little bit slow, but I think we're going good. Another thing I have to remove is the fuel filter. The fuel lines come up right there on the passenger side, which is gonna be too close to the exhaust. So I'm gonna have to do a hard line down the center somewhere, maybe before the gearbox. I don't know yet, need to figure that out, because I don't want to be too close to the tail shaft or the exhaust. Anyway, start doing some cutting, hopefully do some welding, and get this passenger side engine mount done. Sorry if you can't hear me, because my brother's using the air gun, but this is what we come up with. Just a cardboard cutout like this type thing. It's not mounted properly. There's a little dowel pin in there that's kind of not making it sit properly. But that's roughly it, I reckon. I'm pretty happy with that. So as you can see, I've got an opening here, so we can at least get in and get to our nut. And then this side's been braced, obviously. That side's braced. I'm gonna brace it underneath, but I'll get this thing made. So these are our templates that I made up with the cardboard. So now we're gonna just transfer it into this metal, which I have a bit of it. I've got a bit more under the welder there, which I think should be plenty. So let's do that. Quick little tape up and test fit. It's pretty much where I want it to be. I'm pretty happy with it. Just need to make up the plate for the back of it, the back plate on this side. And yeah, I'm gonna start welding it up now. been a long day. It is now Sunday night and we've got almost everything done. Here we've got the engine mounts. They're all made up and painted. They're not the greatest. I'm not too happy with how much of an angle this one is on, but also couldn't really do much about it. One issue that I had was the stock engine mount I had was basically sitting here. So I did a bit of modification. I don't want to get too close because the welds aren't too great. I had cut a triangle out of each side, there and there, and then beat it with a hammer and close it up so it would pull up and give me a better angle. But I cut too much out, so it was too much of an angle. I had no other mount, and this is sort of how I had to go. So pretty happy with it. In the end, I'm happy. So we've got ball joint under here, so it's access to get to it. Braces back here. As you can see, it's not the prettiest, but it does the job, I reckon. And this one is good. I'm very happy with this one. Sump is finished, I hope. It's pretty good. So that's obviously a bit we cut out. We've obviously flipped the sump, and now we can't really bolt it. I still have to do the pickup. Still have to drill a hole for the dipstick, and that will be it for the sump. I'm gonna chuck the sump back on because my old man needs the engine crane tomorrow. So motor and gearbox are going in, and yeah, we'll get this car out, and hopefully tomorrow we can maybe start doing the gearbox mount if I have material. Coolio, it is in, all bolted in now. Brackets have already snapped. Not. Let's hope not. I'm not gonna be able to run the sway bar on this thing because it was pretty much just hitting the sump about here. I just dropped it down so just make my life a bit easier. Might run it. I might see if I can space down the D bushes or something. I think I'm gonna cut this thing out. I'm also gonna make a dog leg for the shifter. Fuel lines, not too sure about these because these come up and it's gonna be right next to the exhaust that we're doing. So I'm thinking about running them over this here. Not entirely sure yet. I think I'd rather go closer to the tail shaft than close to the exhaust. So yeah, probably go up, over, down, then along this line here, up like that maybe. Something we got to work out obviously in the future. Pretty happy with the progress we have done today. I'll drop it down and give you a better look at it. So I got out of the shed now just because the old man needs a hoist for tomorrow. Tomorrow's Monday. Pretty happy with this, how it's all sitting. I couldn't get the gearbox cross member on just to hold it up properly, so it's just sitting there. Got a bit of a rubber block behind the engine. That's probably gonna be all I can do for this video, just because I can't do the gearbox cross member until I get a mount. Don't have a mount, don't know when I can get one, so I'm probably just gonna stop this here. I'm pretty excited to get this thing done now that I've actually started ripping into it and getting things done on it, because the sump and the engine mounts, but it's like the two biggest jobs that I was worried about because I've never done it before. So happy to get them out of the way. I got some parts I need to install for a sponsorship. So we've got a company jumping on board the BMW. I'm sure you can guess what brand it is. You know me, I'm a tight ass. I can't afford things, so I'll take what I can get. But yeah, I did chuck the radiator in and the fan shroud just to get a rough idea of how close it actually is. And I think we're gonna be good. We can still run the fan. When the gearbox is actually in, it's gonna come up even more, so I'll get him further away. We're not gonna run this radiator. I'm gonna get an alloy rad off eBay or something, just because I can relocate this water neck, just because the water inlet on the RBs is here and the outlet's there, so I need them both on the one side. So I'll be able to get an alloy radiator and move the water outlet onto this side. That'll make life a bit easier. Gonna have to do an ABS delete just because it's not in a great spot, and also who wants ABS? I guess that's probably gonna be it for this video. Hopefully you guys do enjoy it, and my talking does not bore you too much, because when I edit these videos, it's a struggle for me to get through them. So I do appreciate you guys watching it if you do, and stick it out through all my rambling and all that bull crap. If anyone's got any BMW parts, let me know, because I do need a few things, i.e. window reg for a 318 IS Coupe. It's an early model 92, so they are different to like the 93, 94, I believe. I don't know shit about this stuff. Stockies, I need stockies, more of them. Wouldn't mind getting like the M-Spec style front and rear bars, a little roof wing and a little wing on the, like a drag style wing on the back. I want to make this thing look kind of cool, but also don't really care. BMW. Anyway, I'll see you guys next video. Thanks for watching.